Okay, so today we're going to get into Unit 8, Facility, Maintenance, Projects, Planning, and Control. So this is your part 1. So facility maintenance projects is for us, industrial engineer, industrial technologist, and what we do is a repetitive, daily, routine maintenance tasks, okay? And that include our preventive maintenance and our normal everyday maintenance. So maintenance projects are nothing but just activities, and these activities perform a specific function, okay? And you can define maintenance projects like by following these characters. So first, these projects require a group of tasks to perform concurrently and or consecutively. It is telling you that you do, okay, tasks one by one. And then they can be defined by the dollar value of the activities performed, meaning each step we're doing in this maintenance project, okay, there's value, okay, these are value, we call it value added projects or steps. And we also define the maintenance project with the level of effort required by different departments in the organization. And we were talking about organization, you're thinking about the facility, okay, big industries. And we call it plant. It is a plant, okay? You have to go from one place to another with some form of transportation. And they also have multiple departments like we have here in our university, and some of the departments don't even communicate each other, okay? They also have meetings just like we have here in the university, just like that, okay? And these projects require planning, design, effort, then regular maintenance, preventive maintenance activities. Because these are systematic maintenance projects that you are caring for the facility systems and equipment. So therefore you always need to plan and you always need to design. Okay? Then resources are allocated, okay, among tasks to accomplish the project within time and budget constraints. All about money, okay, and money, resources, budget, time, so important when you're managing the facility maintenance. So they could be delayed to a future date. Sometimes you're gonna face delay, okay? And they are tools and techniques to schedule, and you will follow these techniques so you can eliminate the delays. Alright, successful project management. Again, management is, alright, we have it and we do it every day, but then it appear to be easy, but it isn't easy. Why it's not easy? Because you have to manage, okay, the system, the equipment in our maintenance field, and you have to manage the people, okay, in the systems. So it's a pretty hard thing to do. And some people are born with interpersonal skill, so they're naturally talented in communication with other people. Okay, they're diplomatic, and in their presence you always feel positive and good. Okay, some people are gonna affect you negatively. So project management, to be successful, okay, you have to be a people person. The successful completion of facility maintenance projects, okay, they require a unique managerial skills, management of personnel from various functional departments, again, communication, again, team building, again, teamwork, okay? So such as engineering, laborers, inspectors, procurement specialists, and schedulers, okay, so and so. A key element in project management is to facilitate upper level commitment Okay, and how do we do it? By defining the work, by the results or benefits the company is going to receive. So what is it telling you here is you got to be okay with your senior, okay, management. You have to be okay with the stakeholder. You have to be okay with your supervisor, and you have to be okay with the upper level, all right, people. And why? Because we need their commitment in order for any of your maintenance project to be successful, okay? And again, what are they interested? So they're interested, again, results. They're interested in benefits for the company because we all depend on the success of the company, right, for our life, because your salary, your benefits depend on the success of the company you're working for. So therefore, you have to do a good job, and you always need the commitment at the upper level. So what are they interested? They're interested in the results. They're interested in the benefits. So therefore, your project got to bring these two things for them. Then you can be able to get their commitment, okay, into your project. Here's the three key areas need to be evaluated. The very first one, okay, to be successful project manager, what are the project objectives? What is the process to be used to complete the project? What will the result of the project be? The first thing you have to have is the objectives. Objectives are little steps, okay? You have a major goal, but most of the project, we're dealing with the objectives, little step. Whether you're gonna, you have a weekly goal, okay? So your weekly goal here, okay, so that's your weekly goal. Or you're gonna have a yearly goal, okay? So whatever your major goal is, you're gonna go step by step, right, towards that. So when you're going step by step, these little steps, right, they're called the objective. So that's your OBJ right there. Okay, little one, little. And you have already done your objective and goal assignments. So you go step by step towards your goal. Okay. So if you're accomplishing a weekly goal, you've got to have your daily objectives, okay, contributing towards that. Yeah. So we already done the fishbone diagram, the same thing. Your effect is your weekly goal, successful weekly goal project. And this is arrow going towards that. All right, so therefore you will have to input your objective, okay, goal contributing towards your weekly goal. Same as that, yeah? So you can't just have a big goal and working towards that. To accomplish the big goal, you've got to dissect, okay, the path towards that. So first you form the direction. So if you don't have the goal, you won't be having this direction at all, okay? If I don't have the goal, where am I going? I don't know. How are you going? You don't know, right? So therefore, objectives so important to have successful project management. So what is the process to be used to complete the project? So when you look at it here, what is the process and what kind of process are you going to use to complete the project? The same thing, okay? Your project is right here, okay? And then you got to go towards that. And you have to know what kind of process you're going to be using to complete that project, okay? And you have to evaluate them. And the next thing is, what will the result of the project be? Oh, we finished the project. What is it that we're getting? What is the result? And what is our benefit of doing that? Okay, we're not going to waste our time and money if our results is not going to benefit anyone, right? It's just a waste of time, yeah? So therefore, you have to know the result, predictive results, okay? Based on your past data, current data, and future predicted data. And you have to think all of that to be successful, okay, for your project to be successful. Alright, project objectives. We come into objectives. So project can be successful only if we identify the expectations of the end user. So that's your customer, okay? And manage these expectations throughout the project. And our end goal is to satisfy, okay, our customer. If we don't satisfy our customer, our products and services, okay, it's not going to be good. So you have to identify the expectation of them. What do they want? Okay, what do they care for? What are they looking for? Okay, and we need to get all of that information before we ever provide the services or produce any kind of products. So our production is totally planned, okay, and your productions, everything is planned. So here in this course, we're dealing with maintenance, okay, maintenance project. So your customer is going to be internal customer. So we have external customer, the customer outside of your company, internal customers are the employee, the stakeholder, okay, any interested party, the workers inside the employee inside of your facility. So you have to know and identify the expectation of them, okay, for your project to be successful, and that's your objective. And then you're going to manage these expectations they want throughout the project. So you have to have this. So your project is going to be on the right direction, okay? Additionally, we must define for ourselves the project team and the customer why we should complete this project. So again, you gotta define, okay, for your team, and then you have to define your customer why, okay, we're even doing this project. Again, that's your results, yeah, and then your benefit. So this is the same as your objective going towards the goal, okay? Now your results and your benefit, okay, they are your customer expectation now, yeah? So therefore you know how to go, and that's under your project objectives. A process to complete the project. So we gotta determine when each of the activities should be completed and assigned to workers. So how do we do that? So what we do is we're gonna differentiate each of the activities based on skill level, cost, and availability. Okay, by looking at all these three factors, we're going to come up with which activities, okay, we should complete first, and then which activity is going to be assigned to which worker. Okay, so those are what we do to complete the project. Results of the project. So answer the following questions to help guarantee the success of a project. So this is kind of like planning, okay? We call it strategic planning. So by setting questions, and then we're going to come up with the answers. So it's kind of like brainstorming, okay? So we look at the objective and we think about what are the expectations. Okay, who want what, and what are they looking for, what are their expectations. And why should we complete this project? Okay, what is our benefit? What is the result for the company and all of us? And everything is money, money, money. Okay, in the business world, so your supervisor, your superiors, are gonna be happy if you get more money. Okay, so I hate to say that, but that's the real world. Real world is all about money, all about survivability. Okay. Whether you do it in a good way or bad way or in a twisted way, they don't care, okay, if you can manage it. You shouldn't be going into the bad and evil and toxic direction though. You have to be in a good and neutral and balanced way, all right, to make things good on yourself, right, on a longer term. Um, so the real world is you will have to play, okay, yourself in such environment. It's really harsh, and it will stress you out over time, okay. And some people can't stand it. Some people are naturally born into that world and they're okay in any kind of stress. Um, Process, we think about what needs to be done, okay. Then we think about what do we need to do. Then we think about who is going to do it. Yeah, you always know who's going to do, who's going to do. And like I say, there are about 80% of the people are going with the flow. 20%, okay, of the company is in the leading role. And when they do it, you don't even know what they're doing, and they did it anyway. You only know after they have done it. So you're there for just for routine, and all the planning and strategies and methods and okay, all of that go to somebody who will stand up and actually challenge and do it. Okay, so those people are kind of like in a group of uh, it's we call it make it or break it group. Okay, so if the superior don't like it, they will be released like right away. Okay, talented people actually we're smart, intelligent people, but then you always have conflict, okay, conflict, power, struggle. So it's always come who is going to do it. And but if they're okay, okay, interpersonal skill, okay, communication, okay, then they're gonna make it, and they're gonna make it more than the regular routine people. Yeah. So people in that group is either going in a risk direction or tremendous success direction, one or the other. And everybody else, okay, so we go back to our little normal distribution right here again. Okay, so everybody else is in this. So that's about like, we already know that's between 60 to 80% generally, okay? So that percentage is a regular normal people. And I call it just go with the flow group. Okay, you just go with the flow, and then you do your routine, and you get your salary, and you go back to your home and stay with your wife or husband and your children. So, and company always depend on a regular activity on them. And the group right here, it's those who's going to be successful, like tremendous success you're going to get by innovating, okay, something, by forming new products, invention, design, model. And another group is right here, okay, who's getting into the risk direction. They're not bad people, definitely not bad. It's just like you struggle power right here with the superior stakeholders, okay? So either you people who try to challenge, either they're gonna make it or they're gonna break it, okay? So that's up to you, okay, for your life. And I tell you since the beginning of this class to think about what you want to do. And you have to think about it, and you gotta do it before you break 25th birthday. Okay, if you already break it, don't worry, everybody make mistake and think about it. Okay, so before you between this 20 to 30, okay, traditional. So minus the people who are not traditional. Okay, that's because we how can I say, they have their own issue, okay, in their lives, so we're gonna exclude that. But if you're in a normal group between 20 to 30, you have to form the major decision what you want to do. Okay, even hitting 25 is too is late. Okay, so right here, okay, you have to come up with knowledge of yourself what you want to do. Then you guys are around here, majority of yours at 18, okay, all the way to 20. So you've got 2 years to prep yourself, okay, to go from high school to getting into responsible citizen. Okay, so those who is going to take on the challenges and responsibility and consequences. You have to think about what you want to do, because your job, okay, your job is something that is going to stick with you forever, because we have to work. Okay, if you're born billionaire or okay millionaire, or you're a part of the family and you're okay financially, okay, that's good. So you don't have to think about any of that. But if we have to think about our job, our survivability, and you have your passion to do something, okay, you got to really work into the systems, all right? So that's up to you. And if you don't care, okay, I don't care anything about this. I'm just gonna live in the way I want to do. Then you can go, okay? So and learn naturally on the way. But anyway, but for this course, we're gonna guide you. Okay, we have to look into the results. Coming back to the maintenance project, we look at the results. We think about the objective. We think about the process. Thinking about it is doing nothing but questioning. What are the expectations? Why should we complete this project? What needs to be done? Okay, when do we need to do it? And who should do it? And you really have to think about all of that in order to understand again the project. Okay. The result, we think about what are the benefits of the project. This is like reiterating again and again. Okay, benefit, 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 result, result, result. What is there for me? What is there for you? What is there for everyone? Why are we even doing this? So all of this. Okay, you think about that. The role of the project manager. So what do we do as managers? So project teams, they're generally made up of again, diverse group, okay, of individual, and they bring in unique skills and unique personality traits. So you can't judge a person by their appearances at all. Okay, you can say like, oh, this person look good, this person looks smart, therefore this person gotta be good. You can't do that in management, especially when you are a project manager. Oh, this person look dirty, I don't like this one. Okay, I don't like that person, I can't even talk to her, blah blah blah. And you can't judge like that to anybody. You gotta accept them as they come in, okay, to work, and you will carefully monitor them, and you're gonna work with them, and you're gonna learn how do they work, okay? And within weeks, you will know that person, okay? You don't have to like be with a person for 3, 4, 5 years to know that person, how that person work. You can know how a person work within 1 or 2 weeks, okay? You can. That's why we gotta do something called teamwork. So teamwork is the only thing that will identify the nature, okay, of your work ethics, okay, of how you handle the things. What is your nature of mentality? Your mentality. How do you do your job? In which way? How do you communicate? Do you make people feel positive? Do you make people feel intimidated? Do you make people feel okay? Do you make people feel negative and evil and want to attack you back? Okay, so all of that skills, unique personality traits, you gotta judge, and that's the role of your project manager. All right, the project manager's responsibility. So the project manager has responsibility. So what is his or her responsibility? So they got to, okay, they have to do scheduling, right? So setting up the project schedule. So they definitely do scheduling to control the stuff. Okay, you gotta control. You have to understand the schedule. You have to understand the budget. Okay, there's actually author forget the budget here is a huge thing. You have to understand the process objectives. So those are the steps to your project. Okay, the same our arrow right there where we want to go. We're gonna go step by step. Okay, step by step. and you're gonna schedule, okay, your time right there, and then you're gonna manage the people who's gonna be right up here with you, okay, etc. Go with you, and you're gonna bring everybody. You have to remind them, you have to tell them, you have to shout at them sometimes, you have to show your other face sometime, okay? You have to punish them, you have to award them. So that's all your project manager's responsibility. But overall, you have to be a fair, okay? And you have to be square, okay? And person, okay? So if you are too biased and you hold prejudice, you can get away with it, okay? A certain period of time, but over time, remember, the workforce is diverse. They're gonna start talking about you, okay? So therefore, pay attention to who you're dealing with and make sure you do your job by being fair, square, and be positive. Okay, so then we're gonna set up the project schedule. Schedule is a kind of okay, looks easy but it's hard. Looks easy when it's big, it's hard, and it's gonna get to you. So anyway, the following steps are key to the success of any project. So we're gonna get into all theory and concepts. So clearly define first. You need your scope. How big is your project? Okay, specification. What is my tolerances? Okay, deliverables. What am I going to deliver? So you have to clearly define all of that. This is just telling you you have to know what you're doing. Yeah, define all activities for the project, and you have to know exactly what kind of process, objectives, and activities you're going to do to accomplish your big goal. Then you identify any precedence relationships for tasks. Okay, that's just like a big word, just like trying to tell you that you have to come up with each step. You have to know where you go. Okay, you have to know scope, specification, deliverables, activities, and then relationships for all of your tasks. Okay, so that's how we set up the project. Schedule. Continue. Identify the resources, so that's your budget, and then assign the personnel, okay, that's your people, who is going to do what on the project. You can't assign a lazy person to do the hard one, yeah? You have to pair the lazy with a good one, okay? And usually you will always have a conflict between them because the good person don't want to do with the lazy person because they have to do all the work, okay? And they're gonna start complaining, why this manager giving me this person right here with me who's not doing anything, okay, just creating just issue out of it. But then by theoretical okay concept, we always pair the good one with the bad one, so that in the hope of the bad one will learn from the good one. Okay, but then sometimes the good one is damaged because of the bad one. So it's always like things going on. Okay, but certain company, they just get rid of the bad one. Okay, they will start pairing. So our model is like this. Okay, so you're gonna put the bad one mean not mentally or anything. It's just like better job. Okay, and then with the good one by giving them um exemplary right there person so they can work with it. And if this person is not okay following okay the good person who is doing everything, okay, completing every task, we fire this person out. And you usually get about 3 chances, okay? Some big company might give you about 10 chances doing like that. So this person starts to say, blah, blah, blah. This person is not doing anything. So you mark, okay, right? Person B is not doing it one time. The next time you pair them and they say the same thing, second time. The next time you pair this person with another good person, they say the same thing about your work ethics, third time, and we let you go. Yeah, out. So that's how we do. But then if this person change, okay, and then start to pick up his work ethics and do everything, okay, and you can start assigning that person to his or her own responsibility, then you got promoted. Okay, so bad become good. So like that. Yeah, this is the way it's going. And that's so in some organization they don't even care about that. Okay, they don't follow concept, they don't follow theoretical models, they don't practice any of this, just go with the flow. Anyway, so number 5, develop time estimates for each activity. And you have to develop the estimates. Okay, estimates or prediction against for each activity. Then you're going to develop the project schedule and use your Gantt chart. Okay, that's all about scheduling. Then identify the longest part of the project. Why is it the longest path? Prediction, okay? If you have a specification, your tolerance, you have to give a something that is going to make your project successful. If your tolerance is so short, right, your project path is too short, you won't complete. Okay, this is your actual activity, and that's your project tolerance path. All right, so make sure you play with the specifications. We're dealing with the time here, and your activity time, and then your schedule time. So you should be able to do that. So just go with the longest path of the project so you can cover yourself, okay? And then you're gonna manage the project. Again, manage dealing with your time, money, okay, people, right in there. All right, setting up the project schedule. Continue. So we identify the project goal, right? So the customer and the project team agree on what will be achieved at the end of the project. Don't think like this is an external customer, it's internal, because we're dealing with, again, maintenance project. Don't forget this is maintenance project. So even the most carefully planned projects have customer revisions requested before the project is completed. This is just saying that your internal customer, they're gonna request revisions from you even though you plan everything carefully, all right, before the project is completed. So you have to understand your project and you have to have data so that when they call for the revision, you can be able to be flexible and change your direction in the way they want it. Okay, many times I tell you in the way they want it. Because when you have to deal with the people, if you get into corporation, if you get into big company, big facility, big manufacturing plants, you have to follow, okay, the direction of your superiors. Why? Because they have everything. They have power, money. They can change, okay, your entire life upside down. So therefore, just go with that. And then if you make mistake, just say sorry and go. And don't fight back. Okay, don't challenge. Uh, if you think like, okay, I can deal with it, just quit. Okay, and stay free in your life. But as long as you're working for them, in order for you to be successful in your work, you gotta follow their direction because you're eating their bread. Okay, so therefore you got to give some sort of loyalty to them. Okay, so people don't want to employ people they cannot be able to trust. Trust is something like, okay, not judging your employer whether they're doing good thing, bad thing, or whatever. As soon as you make commitment, you have to stay with them, right? And do not say things that are detrimental to them. Even if you don't like their action, you don't do that. If you don't like their action, you quit and resign your job. But you don't attack them publicly, okay? Um, unless you get it serious, like life threatening to you or your family member, maybe at that time you will stand up and fight. But other normal activities, I don't make enemies, okay, to yourself for silly things. Okay, when you fight for the meaningful thing and make sure you have people in your back to support you. So, okay, anyway, uh, then we get into the project manager. Okay, you've got to be sure that you have your deliverables, your budget, your schedule, and your cost. Okay, And you have to make sure, okay, these impacts, okay, are discussed with the customer, meaning like the customer are aware of the impacts, right, for your deliverables, your budget, your schedule, and your cost. It's got to be transparent. They got to know everything what you're doing so that they can understand what you're doing. Okay, so they won't get to you. So before agreeing to incorporate the changes into the project, okay, so they got to know everything before you do any kind of change to the project. All right, the project manager. We always need the help of the key team member, those who hold the power, money, okay, and who works behind you and monitoring you. Anyways, identifies all the specific activities needed to complete the project. So your role is you gotta come up with specific activity, meaning you know your project, and that need to complete the project so that you can accomplish the goal. Yeah. Okay, this is just we're breaking down the project into 4 major phases, right? So you're going to start with the major phases of the project, and then you're going to identify several sub-projects. Same thing, major project, sub-project, goal, objective, okay, direction, process, same thing. So with each major phase, your task, identify who should be responsible, who's going to do what. So that is who is this resource for that task. So pair up their skills, their capabilities, their abilities, their talents, okay? And then you're gonna look at the task and then you're gonna pair them up, yeah? Don't assign something big to somebody who has low level of confidence and skills. All right, so you have to balance all of your decisions. So every time you try to read the graph, you're gonna go here. So here we're using the symbols. So that's task. So you can see the task, right? So how many tasks we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tasks we've got. Yeah. That's just splitting. Do you want to split? Okay. Your time. So that's your timeline right there. Because you have 2005, blah, blah, blah going. And here is your month right there. Okay. So go on 0 day, blah, 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 months, then around 47. So that's about half, yeah, of the year. Because 1 year has like 356 days. So here, that's your progress. Oh, I'm coming progress. Just like we have Canvas, your progress, right? You can see your own progress in your analytics. So that's how we check your participation, all kinds of stuff, your activity, okay? How are you studying and come out from the same as that, your progress right there of the project. So here are your missions. So we're gonna throw some mission right here, okay? You got to know your mission in the beginning of your project. Okay, and then we're going to check each major phase. Are we keeping up with our mission? Summary, okay? Summary is right here. So we can see summarizing phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and phase 4, yeah? Project summary, same thing, okay? These are all phase 1, 2, 3, 4 project summary. They look pretty much alike. It's the same thing anyway. Then this is your external task, okay? That's right here. So that's the mission and the line together, yeah? And then external mission, so they're all right in there together. It's a little bit difficult to see. But the same thing, because summary is your mission and your external task combined together. And then you have your deadlines, okay? And I don't see the deadline here on this, okay? So anyway, so that's how you break down your project into 4 major phases. You can break down 2, you can break down 3, okay? It depends on what you are doing. This is just an example to show you how you're gonna schedule. Alright, so once all the activities are defined, right? The president's relationships are identified. We know our activities, we know our relationships, the activity times, okay, we already estimate, so we know our estimates. And then the resources, we know our resources, and you already assigned the resources. Then you're going to determine the longest path of the project. and make sure your project will fit into that path. So you're going to finish it on time. Yeah. So any slippages along the critical path might result the project being late. Okay, we don't want any kind of delay. So you have to know your critical path, right? That's why we chose the longest path. So depending on how much slack there is between the total length of your critical path and the time allotted to complete the project. So you're dealing with your tasks and the time, okay? Tasks and the time. Now, managing the project using all the tools available includes recognizing any conflicts and resource available. This is just like too formal. I'm just trying to tell you, okay, you manage your project, and when you're managing, you're using all the tools you've got, yeah? So those tools are recognizing any kind of conflicts, because conflicts is against the completion of your project. So if somebody want to tear you down, they're going to start conflict. So if somebody is starting the conflict by saying negative things and saying gossip, okay, stabbing you from your back, so they will create something, okay, that is going to come into your project. They're going to come in like in many different ways. Okay, they may look like polite and diplomatic and appear to be your friends, but the things that they talk to you, the manner, the tone, okay, a very subtle thing, like it's really even difficult to decide, okay? But then how do you decide that as a management of good, okay? Management personnel is you judge with data. Whatever this person, okay, telling me, is it making me, okay, go forward, or is it making me stall somewhere, okay? If you're stalling 1 or 2 days, you're gonna be diplomatic and separate yourself and don't listen, okay? You're gonna push yourself straight out. So this is how you fight. You do not attack back. You do not say anything bad back, okay? You're gonna listen. Again, you're gonna do more listening than talking. You can talk chit chat, okay, with your friends, but then when you are working, okay, everything that you're doing real work, you will listen, and you're going to listen carefully, and you're going to see the result for every input that you get from outside, okay? Oh, I do this person advice and input. Is it, okay, stopping me? Is it giving me a barrier, okay, that I have to cross somehow? Or is it giving me a support, right? So you know, so if your timeline is you decided this way and you're stopping right there because of someone else's input, okay, then as a good management, you got to get rid of that source, okay? So don't listen anymore. You just say be diplomatic, and then you're going to push yourself to complete your goal, okay, your project goal. So this is how you work to accomplish things, okay? You can choose people, they come in the way they come, and you have to know how to work with them, okay? That's how you work with diversity. So diversity is, we're not talking about race. So diversity is, we're not talking about race, we're talking about uh, people with different background, okay? Different backgrounds, and how you're gonna deal with them, all right? How are you gonna deal with them? You can't fight the negativity with negativity, okay? So if something is negative and given a conflict, and if you fight by using negative force, okay, what you're gonna get is more negative. It's gonna diverge like that, yeah? So if somebody is bringing a negativity, you're gonna stop and think, what am I gonna do? Am I gonna avoid, right? Yeah? Or am I gonna face positivity? So by giving the positivity, they're gonna neutralize, okay? They're gonna neutralize and it will disappear and dissolve, yeah? So don't choose this model, right? Do not fight negativity with negativity. Why? You're gonna get a grandiose negativity right there, huge. Okay, it's gonna pile up. And fight negativity with positivity. Okay, therefore they will neutralize. Yeah, same as interferences. Yeah. So anyway, physics. Anyway, you can apply science in the real world anywhere. Okay. So now let's go back here. So managing the project using all the tools available include one, recognizing any conflict. Okay. Resource availability. As activities are completed, the project manager, that's you, okay, got to assess, okay, and recalculate the path, right? The process path. You always have to assess and read. You're doing nothing but understanding and mastering, all right, that activity of managing your project. I think only like first few projects you're gonna struggle, okay? So as you do it again, 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 and then you become so excellent anyway over time. Okay, managing the teams of coming into the people part, yeah, give you headache. So anyways, a vital part of your effective performance of any project is successful team management. Okay, it's just a little 3 word right there, successful team management, but so hard to do in real life, right? Team is gonna give you a big major headache. It's gonna turn your hair white, okay? And people go into the industrial technology dealing with management always come out with white hair or silver hair, gray hair, whatever, and they will stress you out, trust me. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so you have to learn how to do yoga and a meditation of some sort. Anyways, a vital part of your effective performance of any project is successful team management. Okay, you have to master this. So start practicing. Okay, during your 4 year of your university. Okay, scholarship. Build that team management, right? So this includes managing the internal and then your external boundaries. All of your project is so because your project contains your team. Okay, so managing the internal and external boundaries, you need communication skill. Everything that you have to deal with people is a headache. Okay, communication is, we're not talking about how well you speak your native language, not a language, it's a communication. Okay, what you want them to do. Okay, regardless of whatever language you're speaking, you got to have your interpersonal skill and communication skill to motivate them, right? Motivate them. So that people will do, okay, what you want them to do. If you cannot do that, you cannot be in the management because your project will fall apart. Okay, it will fall apart. A good team is, oh, I want this to get done by this date. And you start to assign resources to each person. Please do this one. Please do this one. Okay, we're going to have a meeting today and you check. One or two, okay, member of your team will say some excuses and they won't come up with their part of the job. Yeah. And it's always happened, trust me, okay? And people who take responsibility, they will come up with everything by the time you want it, okay? And again, is your project is going to stall here or is it going to move forward, okay? Depends on your art of management. So you have to learn how the people work and who they are, what's their real nature, okay? Not the one they show you. People always show the nature that is superficial. So what we know about people are what they show you, not who they really are. Okay, and who they really are come only when you work with them. Okay, you gotta work with them. So you gotta start working with them and see how they work. And if the person is repeating the same manner of work ethics, okay, you know that, oh, I can count on this person, so he is on the B list, okay? Okay, and you're gonna assign the G list right there, okay? People who are gonna drive this flow, okay, towards the goal are the people you will assign the major responsibility. And people in the B group, okay, I call the bad work ethics group, I call it B. G is a good work ethics group, okay, G group, and we have B group. Some management company use their own acronyms or whatever they want to. Anyway, so you're gonna assign them these people you can count on in the G group, and they gonna be in the leading role because you don't want to stop this motor, okay, of your project. It's got to keep going, just like the vehicle, right? So people in the B groups going down enter the G group. So these are the leaders, okay? So this is how you assign your resources with a role when you manage your team, okay? So it won't hurt your project. Your goal is the project gotta go in the way you wanna go at the time you have scheduled. Okay, all right? And one day lag behind is gonna get you. And it's you who gotta go into the meeting with your superiors, okay, not them. And they're all on your time, how well you manage them, okay? So it is you who's going to get all the bad things because you are responsible for everything happening here. So what you got to do is you're going to put the B group, okay, under your G group, and you're going to let G lead B, okay? And you will assign the least daily routine, okay, for them, like write the report, okay, go check the email, go bring my coffee or something. And the G group is going to do the essential part, okay, right, on your project. Depends on, we're on the maintenance project, so you're going to assign these people to control the systems, and these people go to go and pick up the toolbox, or go and, all right, give this report to this department. So those kind of little tasks is going to go into the B group. So that's how you differentiate and manage the team, by assigning who is going to do what. Okay, so if you're in the B group, you will always be subordinate of someone who is accomplishing or leading. Okay, and you cannot hide these things. This is born with your nature. Okay, you might do a one-time good, two-time good, but then you're gonna go back to your nature. Okay, your nature is you suck, and then it will always be suck unless you change it. Okay, and you will see that quite a lot with a lot of the people who will work with you. Okay, but you don't go and say and shout at them, okay, you bet, I'm not going to give you can't say that. You have to be so diplomatic, and you have to do everything in your head, okay, without challenging or confronting anybody, okay? So just make sure you give the responsibility to the right people, and your goal is to keep your project going, okay, every day, step by step, one objective by another, to reach your final goal and accomplish it. All right. So I think you got it. So let's go the next one, communication. Okay, we finished with this. So now we get into the communication process. Will go a long way toward determining whether a project is successful or not. Okay, and the communication again, I just taught you, okay, how to deal with it. You won't be confronting. You won't be putting anybody down. You won't be telling, hey, you bad. Okay, you don't do any of that. You're gonna be diplomatic, and then you're gonna work everything in your head and not in your mouth. Okay, you don't talk to and you listen, you observe, you monitor, and then you assign them their responsibility. And they don't need to know what you are thinking inside of your head. Okay, and when you communicate whatever you want them to do, you have to put them in a professional way. Okay, oh, here, this is your job today. Go ahead and do this. This is your job today. Please go ahead and accomplish that. This is your job today. Please do it. If you cannot do it, please, okay, and come and talk to me. Let me know how I can help you. If they do not respond, let it go. Okay, because their action, their activities is going to be judged by the human resources over time. And you gotta always give assessment of your own employees, right? So every quarter, so that's going in there, right? Behind the scene. So everything is going. But if you are the bad manager and you're just not fair and you're biased and you have prejudice and you just, okay, keeping the people you love, letting the people you don't like or people who are talented and intelligent and you feel intimidated and you just want to kick them out, okay, that I don't know how to tell you, okay? So I just want to advise, be good if you're, a position where you have to hold power, money, okay, and management of other people's life, because your decision is gonna ruin, right, the good people if you're making a wrong decision. Yeah, so you don't want that because everybody has their own family and they have to find money to feed them. Yeah, so before you make a decision, all right, you gotta think about, am I going to destroy somebody by doing that? Am I doing the right thing? Okay, you have to know what is right and wrong. You can't say like, I don't know what is right and wrong. What is right for you is not right for me. Okay, these are all correct, but to judge someone else's work ethics, okay, that is going to affect someone else's life. You have to really, really sit down and think about it. Okay, you can't just do whatever. You can't just hold prejudice. You can't do discrimination. Okay, you can't be biased to make those kind of decisions. Okay, so just be careful. And a lot of the small businesses, because they own their own business, family businesses, they practice these horrible, right, things and ruin so many people's life. Okay, that just creating your own enemy over time. Yeah, so even if it might not be, getting you back in this lifetime, it's not good on your mind. Okay, it's not good on your mind, it's not good on your soul. So anyway, so communication process again will go a long way toward determining whether a project is successful or not. Okay, it's just like a so formal, but the reality to practice this communication process is really hard. So communication is can be oral or written, and this is what I'm talking about just now. Okay, do not challenge. You observe, you monitor, and then you make decision. You do reports. Okay, so if you have a B group, you're gonna report to human resources. Okay, and make sure you're fair and you're square and you're doing the right thing before you do any kind of judgment to somebody. Okay, then we get into one communication tool used by project managers, okay, as a progress meeting. So that's just a routine, all right? It's just trying to tell you like one of the two main methods. Okay, we call it common word is two. We're talking about concepts, theory, and the methods and technique. Okay, one of them used by the project manager commonly outside, okay, is a progress meeting. Okay, we use meeting. So meeting is a communication. So we discuss everything about what are we going to do with this person, that person, okay, in our team. So now to prepare the meeting agenda, just a changing meeting agenda according to what you're doing every day. So the project manager must determine, again, go back to our objective, okay, of the meeting. What do we want to do? Why are we calling the meeting? What is our objective of our meeting? So what do we do in this meeting? Okay, so a successful project manager handles project meetings with minimum arguments. Again, this is the major thing I'm trying to teach you in this slide, okay? You don't make conflict. If there's a conflict, a good manager dissolve that conflict. A bad manager escalate the conflict because they want to get rid of you, okay? And you're going to lose your job or something. And if you are the manager, okay, you have to hold argument as minimum as possible. Sometimes you have to swallow information that you get from other people and do not pass it. Okay, it's kind of like all sinks in where you are. So just listen and then just swallow it. Don't communicate it outside, because there are people who will incite, okay, incite the argument, meaning like they're gonna come and stimulate the argument towards you and then make you okay, enhance that, okay, conflict that they're starting to do, and you don't want to be along that process. So sometimes you have to listen to somebody and they come and say blah 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 blah. Swallow it, okay, and then stop that. Whatever conflict or argument starting to, okay, beginning right here at your point, nothing go on, okay. So that's what a good manager does. Okay, he will listen, but he won't pass that information on unless it is necessary. Okay, so especially office ladies, okay, what they do is they office ladies are those who are in secretary, uh, who manage the emails, okay, because they have a lot of time doing that, and they have all the time that there's in the world to get a cup of coffee, sit down and chit chat everybody else's gossip. Okay, so they usually start the argument and then spread it along the entire department and beyond. Manager, okay, when you are with responsibility, you have to kill that gossip. Okay, if somebody comes and say something, blah 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 daily, okay, talking, you listen and then swallow it and don't say whatever information that you get from these people to anybody else. Kill that wave right there where you are. Okay, uh, so they will come in like, oh, this person says something like this person is doing like, what are we gonna do about this? You're gonna think about it. If I pass this information, is it gonna increase or maximize the argument, or is it going to minimize the argument? And you're gonna choose the path that is gonna minimize the argument to kill it. Okay? Otherwise, your time is going to be getting into that conflict and arguments is a waste of time, and your project is going to stall right at there. Okay, so one thing that we do, so we're trained for lean. One thing that we do, we eliminate all of that crap. Okay, so you can go, you can chit chat, you can be social, you can be friendly. Okay, so people who are doing these gossiping and coffee drinking and brownie eating thing. Okay, so you listen to these ladies or guys, whatever, and then do not pass it along. Swallow it, and your concentration. How am I going to finish this? Okay, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? With who am I going to do it? So everything, your arrow gotta be keep going. Alright, so argument, kill it. Then project meetings again on time. And then with valuable output, okay, from the meeting. So these are what we're trying to accomplish by calling the meeting. Okay, so every time we call the meeting, we have to understand why are we doing this meeting objective. Okay, and then you're going to handle your project meetings with a minimum argument. The minimum arguments usually come from the office, usually come from people monitoring each other, come from the reports. Okay, and then you're going to hear it in your meetings that this person is saying something. Oh, I got this one, this information from here. What are we going to do? Okay, and then you're going to handle your meeting on time, and you're going to handle your meeting, all right, with valuable output from the meeting. That's it. Okay, and that's how you manage the team. All right. Okay, so maintenance operation analysis. Now we're coming to our project core. Okay, so operation analysis, how are we going to analyze the operations? So as in any critical operations area, maintenance planning is completely imperative, okay, for all areas of the facility. Why is it that? Because we want to guarantee a first-class facility, okay, just a grandiose words right there. What it's trying to tell you right here is like every time we do this operation, okay, maintenance operation analysis, you got to have a plan, okay, and that's the first thing you need. Again, plan, and I'm gonna totally highlight it right there. Planning, you need a plan. Okay, don't come and tell me I don't have a plan, I'm just gonna do whatever. That's the people outside. Okay, you are going to manage something, in order for you to manage something, you have to come up with plan A, plan B, okay, and then plan C. What if you got the electric grid, okay, and you got to maintain the system, right? Electricity, producing, generating electricity. It can be sourced from nuclear source. It can be sourced from a natural source of water, wind. Okay, it can be okay with it, you know, some sort of generator. Okay, solar generator. So whatever that is, you're running the system that is producing something, and you always have to have like everything is okay. So plan A, we're gonna do our routine. What if something break down? Okay, that would be the plan B. What am I gonna do? Do we have a redundancy in our system parts that we can be able to swap and use? Okay, or are we gonna shut down this and then turn on that? So everything you have to know is right in there. And then you have to have a plan C. So plan C is what we're facing right now with all the global climate changes right now. What if we hit by the hurricane? Okay, tsunami or forest fire or whatever, okay? Floodings, all kinds of stuff. What are we going to do if that happens? How are we going to maintain the system? If the weather is too powerful and you can't overcome it, then you surrender. Yeah. So system or your plan C doesn't work. So therefore everything destroyed. So you gotta go get funding to write the system back up. Yeah. Even that the upper management, so those are your CEO, your stakeholder, all of that, they have that plan C. Okay, that plan C is after your system is destroyed, okay, physically destroyed. They have this plan, okay, and these guys are playing monetary, okay, planning for you as this maintenance operation analyst. You're planning the system, okay, physical thing. The stakeholder up there, okay, people with all power, money, and everything, okay, they plan money, okay. If my system is broken because of the weather or something, how am I gonna get that billions and billions of dollar insurance, okay, all kinds of that, in order to repair the system? They've got that plan, okay. So that's why even if something broken in 1 or 2 months, you get that system back up. So the planning is so important. You have to have it and you have to know how to do it. Yeah. So maintenance planning is completely imperative. Okay. So therefore you have to do it. Planning. Not only one plan. You have to do all the backup plan that there is in the world by thinking, what if? Alright, the word is what if. What if this happened? What am I gonna do? What if that happened? What am I gonna do? What if this? Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. What if that? This is what I'm gonna do. It's got to be right in your head, in the report, and in your manuals. Okay, so that's how you do your maintenance operation analysis. So then we're going to come into this planning should include, here we go, daily, weekly, okay, monthly, and longer term maintenance activity. Okay, so easy to write. Longer term maintenance activity. What is that? I don't know. That is your system and that is your equipment life cycle. Okay, operation. They have to be all in our operating, okay, status. And you have to know all of that activity. We call it activity. It's all about your system and it's all about your equipment, okay? You gotta know your system. You have to know your equipment in order for you to come up with planning again, okay? All right, then we will get into maintenance operations procedures. Yeah. So here you can see a sample here from a textbook. That's your figure 8, so that's a unit 8, okay, figure 3, the third diagram. So maintenance operation procedures in an aluminum fabricating plant. It's right there, yeah. They have the purpose, definition, reference, responsibilities, procedure, record keeping, and then records, yeah, everything that you need to know about. So the overall strategic plan is going to give credibility to the maintenance organization. So we need a plan, okay? So the goal, again, is that facility maintenance will be properly done and performed regularly. So what we want is we want everything to just keep going, yeah? So therefore, we need the maintenance to be done properly, and we need the maintenance to be performed regularly. Okay, keep it going. So when maintenance planning goes bad, okay, here we go, your plan B and C. Not only do internal departments point a finger at each other, okay, at the problem areas by external customer also unhappy because they have to come up with their own planning, okay, to compensate for whatever that happened because of delivery problems, whatever poor quality, okay, but possibly caused by poor maintenance planning. So this is you. It's gonna come by everything on your head again. Yeah. So therefore, you gotta do planning, okay, in a proper way, in the right way. What is the right way? You have to know. The right way is your system gotta just keep going. Your operation gotta be functioning, okay? No stalling, okay? No barriers. We don't want any of that. Everything gotta go smooth. So that's your maintenance management, okay? And you have to analyze for your operation to keep it going. If you do not analyze, you won't understand any of your operations. So how can you be able to manage or maintain that? Yeah. So therefore, you have to understand the operation in order for you to come up with the best plan. Yeah. So here, that's your example, like how other people write, but you don't have to follow, the same thing. You can write it in your own way. Yeah. So first, you're gonna write your purpose. You're gonna write your scope. You're gonna write the definition, defining what you're trying to say, and then if you have references, you put it in. Okay. Then responsibility, you're gonna put your people and your resources into specific responsibility and task. And then procedure, you're gonna put how we're gonna do that. And then you're gonna be doing record keeping so you understand, okay, what happened, okay, how things are going. So, and everything that you do, record it so everybody clearly understand what you're doing. And then you have your records, okay, so we can do auditing. I think, yes, here we go. They also write it down here, records of the audit were retained by the engineering and maintenance supervisor for a period of, again, in this case is 5 years, okay? And in everybody else's cases, it's always inside of the class, okay? Inside of the cabinet in your office, okay? And the records department is going to come and take it from your desk, and then they're going to do their job, all right? If you don't have a record department, then you have to do it by yourself, yeah? So that depends on the size of your company. Okay, regular maintenance task identify. Now we're going to identify the maintenance task. So here we go, an overall strategy. Definitely need to know overall. So every chapter that we did, we have overview, same as that. So you have an overview, overall strategy here, okay, and regular maintenance task. So it's going to help, okay, guide the maintenance plan. First we have a plan, then we have an overall strategy. So if you have an overall strategy, it's going to help you with your plan. Now a company maintain management plan, okay. That's going to identify the daily, again, coming back to our activities. All right. So I'm going to underline what we call keywords. Blah, 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 writing here. First, you're going to underline. This is your keyword, overall strategy. Here is your keyword plan. Okay. And then go blah, 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 blah. Here is our keyword. You have to identify. Then here is our keyword activities. Yeah. So you don't have to remember everything. All you have to understand is I've got my strategy, so I can do my planning. I've got to identify the activity, all right, to get my plan. That's all. So this is whether you're gonna get the, if we think about our SET, ACT, right? Is how you read. Okay, you don't have time. So standardized tests, if they have time, the time is our enemy. So if you think about it, we all went through all of this horrible SAT. So that's what we read, and you don't need English as your native language at all. So a lot of the Japanese, okay, Indian sometimes they score above, okay, average all the way top, okay, making like really high score. That's because we know how to read the key points. Okay, you're not spending time reading from here all the way to here. You're hitting bang, 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 4 words. That's it. And then here your title. That's it. So it shouldn't be taking a long time for you to get something. And you don't have to read every word either. You just go open the handle and then go bang, bang, bang. Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah, 4 words, easier. Trying to remember from here all the way to here that nobody is going to go, I never remember anything. Yeah, you look at the keyword, and that's what I want you to do in your presentation or presentation, to put very lengthy, bulky information into 11 slides. Yeah, 10 slides actually, 10 slides. So you're going to hit the major key points, and you're going to outline them, and you're going to put it in your own word. That's it. And that's how you study every test. Okay? Try it and make it a habit, and you'll be so perfect. So anyway, let's go down. Okay, sorry, I wasn't on. Okay, so anyway, so this is just showing you figure 8.4. Okay, you can go back to your handle and look at it. It's just your equipment inspection. It's just a sample of your document. Okay, you don't really have to read the whole thing. You can just scan the titles. So what are we doing? Communication. We're doing equipment inspection. We're doing the document control. We are doing modification here. We have urgent repair request. So that's how you read it. Yeah. And then we go on the last one, okay, figure 8.4, we have improvement, we have success, okay, measurables, and we have after hours stuff, we have vacation, we have training, yeah. So this is what it looks like, yeah, for your planning. So you can read that and scan through on the handout from page 10 to 12 if you want the reference. That's where you can find. So now here is the sample again. So that's your work request. Okay. So that's a typical apartment. Okay. And then you have a car dealership. You have a manufacturing facility. We all have this maintenance work request. Yeah. So if you get into maintenance career, you're gonna be getting this. Oh, it's just a little form right there. You gotta fill up blah 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 blah, and then yeah, here's a note. So follow the directions. So anyway, this is just a sample. You can take a look at it. And then here's your implementing specific maintenance activities. Again, activities. So some work environments, okay, many maintenance activities are performed on a, again, regular basis. Okay, so here is your keyword. Activities. You have to do it regularly. You're going to perform it regularly. That's all 3 keywords, yeah? Perform the activities on a regular basis. That's it. So now if you look at 8.6, it's just showing you our project flow chart, yeah, for design and installation, again, of generic equipment at there's a company, yeah. So here I cut it out here so you can see big here. So just showing you from 1 all the way to down. They have a lot of plans all the way to 22 right there. So first they said develop need for new piece of equipment. Send concept to engineering for priority and request available funding. Money, give me money, yeah? So project assigned to task group. So these are all of your activities, okay? And then you're gonna write that down. Make sure these activities are something that you're performing regularly. Okay, yay, another scheduling. This time, your work items. So maintenance scheduling projects is going to fall into 2 main categories. So work items that must be completed in the upcoming period, a long-term work items, so which are part of a larger project effort. Okay. Okay, so you have 2. One is that got to be completed, okay, in an upcoming period, shorter one. Second one is, okay, a long-term work items. That is a part of a larger project effort. Okay, so before determining what work items need to be scheduled in the upcoming period, so we gotta think about there are some planning steps, okay, that must be taken. So you're gonna do planning before you determine, okay, the upcoming period work items. So scheduling work items that must be completed in the upcoming period. So what we do right here, okay, this agenda right there, is nothing but after the planning of your daily and routine maintenance jobs. Okay, when you finish planning, what you do is the next step is to prioritize overdue upcoming jobs and emergency work. Okay, so that's what we do after the planning. So when you look at it here, the keywords are before. Yeah, you're gonna do planning steps. Before what? Before you schedule your work items. Okay, so here, coming into planning, here are some planning steps. So after planning steps, what do you plan in the planning step? Your daily and routine maintenance job. Okay, so once you're done with your planning, you're gonna prioritize, yeah, the overdue stuff, yeah, your backlog, and then your emergency work. Okay, so time estimates, they are important for several reasons, and the reasons are for longer term, okay, long-term maintenance projects, to see if the project is feasible. For future reference, to compare time planned versus actual time expended, okay? To evaluate other alternatives and also to identify risk. So we're looking at risk, we're looking at alternatives to evaluate them, and we're looking at future reference to compare, okay, time. And what are you comparing? You're comparing planned versus actual time. Then for longer term maintenance projects, okay, time estimates are important. Why? To see if the project is good enough to do, yeah, feasible. Okay, now we get into direct expense. So to get better estimates, use one of the following methods. So first thing you do, talk with someone with direct experience. People with experience, okay, they bring in a lot of knowledge, not the textbook knowledge. Textbook knowledge is a synthesis of all the best practices and everything that work, and you are learning that, okay, and then you use it, apply it. So when we say direct experience or without the textbook, real world and the beauty of imperfection, okay, and we call it miracles of imperfection. So you get it doing whatever, and sometimes it works, and that's your experience. Okay, sometimes you're okay, sometimes you make mistakes, and sometimes, okay, you do your work in your maintenance project, and some works and some don't. So all that experience comes from years of experience. Okay, so, and if you talk with these people, it's so knowledgeable, you know, you just love them. Just I love talking to older professor because they work my years, like 20 years, okay, 10 years, 30 years, and just by sitting there with them for 1 hour, you're like, you become a different person, okay, and you have to respect their experience, okay, knowledge, respect them, because you learn in 1 hour a lot more than you read 10 textbook, yeah, and all the things that you gotta do, okay, this way or that way, and sometimes you can find it in the textbook. So therefore, talking directly, okay, with the people with a direct experience is really good. So do that. And another one is of find a good model or an example to use for comparison. Because we study by comparison. So you're gonna find a good model. So this is what we do, our G and B model. You know, put the good group with the bad group, yeah, together. So trying to insight the bad group to learn from the good group as a model. But sometimes we fail, right? They don't do that. So anyway, there's stone wall against everything to learn from other people. So anyway, so for those kind of people, you just have to let them go. Yeah, so find a good model or an example to use for comparison. So that's a comparison study. So what we're trying to do is to get a better estimate. Yeah, so we do this, we do that. The next one is have someone explain the process so you can get a better time estimates. So learn from the people who have already done a lot of projects, and you're going to benefit from that. Then, obviously, the best estimate possible is obtained if the project manager or maintenance planner already has accomplished the work step before and thus has a good idea of how long the task will take. Yeah. So again, we're sticking to the time estimates. So the best time estimate possible, okay, is going to be obtained if the project manager or the maintenance planner already has accomplished the work step, right? Before. And thus has a good idea. Again, you gotta know your project, you gotta know what you're doing, of how long the task is gonna take. Okay? Because your budget, your resources, okay, everything is depending on your maintenance project. So if you're doing the maintenance of the production, your production operation depend on your maintenance project. So you gotta do it right with your time, yeah? So if you have opportunity, you gotta do some research. Identify a good example. This is how we extract the best practices out, okay, to push our project and of similar processes. So that's how you're learning by talking to somebody who already know, okay, comparing with a good model, and then asking for somebody to explain something to you. So these are all that we're trying to do, okay, identify the good examples from the similar process that you're doing now. So that way you can be able to get the better time estimates. Alright, high-level estimates and overall project estimates can be completed once the work steps and deliverables have been identified. So this process includes estimating the maintenance effort, calculating costs, and estimating the elapsed time to complete the work steps. Okay, so that's under high-level estimate. So what you need to know is when you're dealing with the overall project estimates, okay, they can be completed, right? When it's going to be once the work steps and deliverables have been identified. So you have to identify your work steps. I'm going to underline that for you. And then you have to identify your deliverables, okay, in order for you to come up with your overall project estimates. So that process is going to include estimating the maintenance effort, your cost, and then your elapsed time, right? So you got to know your work step here, and then you have to know your deliverables when you're dealing with high-level estimates. And they include estimating the effort, cost, and then elapsed time, okay, in order to complete the work steps. Okay, estimating effort. So first, in order to estimate effort, we already estimate the time. Okay, now we're going to estimate effort. So first, you're going to define estimating unit level of detail. And second, you're going to come up with estimate most likely, optimistic, and pessimistic effort. Okay, this is coming with the effort. Then you're going to identify assumptions. Okay, assumptions that determine the estimates. And then you're going to use your high-level statistics to summarize work tests and project estimates. Okay, this is what you're going to do to estimate your effort. So anyway, so let's get into the estimating effort. And here, what you can see is for each work step in the project, you're gonna first estimate the most optimistic. So in other words, estimate the most positive one, and then was pessimistic is estimate, okay, the past negatives, and the most likely amount of effort of works that will take. Yeah, that's just a most likely mean your standard, okay, normal day effort. So normal effort. So that's what you definitely need to estimate all of that first. And your board of directors, or sometimes just upper management, is going to see the figures, okay? So that's your data or statistics to improve the time estimates. So for the most positive case estimate, what we do is we identify the minimum time, yeah? Because we want to be positive, so we identify the minimum time for the project, right? It could take. And then look at the assumptions for each work step to identify the most positive estimate. Yeah, so we're looking at the assumptions and we're going to be checking out all our work steps to come up with the most positive estimate. And then you're going to ask yourself which could go right. Okay, so let's continue to guess our effort. So the most likely estimate, okay, you're just guessing. So you guess the amount of time that you would, okay, guess the project would take if you could only choose one time estimate. If you have only one time, what am I going to do? Think about that. And once again, identify the assumptions under which this time will be applicable, okay? If you can use it, think about that. And then the most, that's a negative case, all right? So you're going to be guessing for the negative case is the most time that the project could possibly take to complete, okay? So for positive, choose the shortest one, for negative, choose the longest one. So that's basically what's trying to tell you. And then evaluate the most pessimistic, that's your negative case, okay? Guessing negative case. So identify all the assumptions for what could possibly go wrong. Yeah, we're dealing with pessimistic. So therefore we gotta think, could possibly go wrong. Okay, next one we're coming into calculate cost. So first what we do is we're gonna select the method, so average or specific rates, and then we're gonna select the team, and then we're gonna identify rates. Then we're gonna multiply rate by effort hours, and then we're gonna summarize for project cost. So that's what we do to calculate cost. It's just like, selecting a method is like you can choose a method what you're familiar with or what you like, and then usually is the average method or specific rates that you're gonna play with in your project. And then again, you're gonna choose people, and then you're gonna identify their wages, for your team, and then you're gonna multiply the rate with your effort hours. Efforts just work hours, okay, which is called effort hours, same thing. They're doing a particular activity anyway. And then you're going to summarize the project cost. Alright, then we're going to estimate the elapsed time using the effort elapsed time conversion. So first, you're going to calculate the impact of number of resources, and then you're going to add the duration for delays, and then you're going to document assumptions made, okay, and then you're going to use a high level, again, your stat, your data, your figures to summarize the subphase duration, okay. This is just so breaking down the time from the schedule of your project, maintenance project. Like we use data, we use impact, we use delay, okay, and then we use assumption, right? That's what we do to estimate the elapsed time. Again, don't forget hitting the keyword. So here, teach you again impact, teach you again delays, teach you again assumption, data, okay? And that's what we do to estimate the elapsed time. Yeah, I think by now you know how to spot the key points. Okay, project management tools and techniques, methods, and methods. Do not manage without using the methods, okay? Methods are synthesized from best practices from years and years and years of experience. So you can trust them. It will work like magic, okay? Give you miracles right there. So follow that. And you come to the university not to get the diploma, to get these things, okay? So are you going to systematically and scientifically drive the people? Or are you just going to say some crap and drive them? Okay, there's a difference. Okay, so I don't want to name, okay, the past leader. Anyway, so there are people who are really good, okay, at driving by using psychology, by using systematic people's motivation, and they use the method. They don't just do whatever, okay? You're not people from the outside anymore. You belong to university, and we call education. Education is you are learning these systematic tools, methods, approaches, technique to accomplish something, okay? And that includes the people right here, because we've got nothing but people in the whole world. Yeah, and you gotta know how to drive them systematically. And this is what makes a leader. Okay, how hard it is. Think about president, different kinds of president, how hard it is to drive the billions and billions of people. They have their own idea, you have your own idea. In order for a group of people, majority of people to accept what you're saying, you can't just go and say whatever. You have to do it in the right way, systematic way. Okay, so make sure you get all of that. So when you come and study, you don't just pay your tuition fee and do nothing. You have to work with your professors. Okay, they're giving you everything. So professor, we always say we ended up doing your work. You're supposed to be doing this. Since we're doing the repeated, okay, your work again and again every semester, we become excellent in scholarship. But that's your work. Okay, we do a lot of babysitting to you guys. Okay, if we follow the traditional method of teaching, you're supposed to be writing the handout by yourself. Okay, now it's like we are writing the handout for you, and that's come from a great deal of understanding, okay, of today's difficulties and issues that the students are facing. So make sure, do not take that for granted. Okay, make sure you use them, and the only thing we can't do it for you is to put this into your head. Okay, that's, you have to do it by yourself. Okay, because people learn in a different way. I learn in my own way, and you learn in your own way, and you've got to find your strength and your weaknesses, and then try to put the knowledge and the foundations you need into your head. Okay, that's called scholarship, and you have to do this. And don't just come and get the paper diploma, okay, to show your boss to get a promotion. It doesn't work like that. Education is you're learning how to make decision, a fair, okay, well-rounded, well-considered, and database informed decision. Okay, and you have to know what is right and wrong. And this is what you come to the university to learn every situation. The homework, the assignment, the MCQ, the answer, short question, essay question, okay, critical project, capstone, all of them are situations, okay? And you are answering each question thinking, all right, solving the problems to do the right thing. Why? Because outside, nobody, okay, care for what's right or wrong. They just go with what is going to make me feel good. I'm going to just go with that, okay? What is going to give me money? I'm just going to do that. But here is you're learning to make the right choice, right? Out of A, B, C, D, E, here is a situation. What is the best thing that you can choose out of this situation? And you repeat that again and again with different subjects, science, arts, okay, music, and then your core subjects you're taking, your major, okay, and then your minor. You repeat that process again and again, again and again, again and again, so that when you're faced with a particular situation, you know how to decide. Okay, so you can save the world or you can break the world, right? So make sure you don't take everything for granted and put your effort and your time and your money to get the best out of the university, and we expect the best, okay, nothing less than that. And all the professor in MSU pretty good, yeah. We put our best into you, okay? Everything you've got, that's the best we can do. And you gotta take it and you're gonna step on our shoulder and go right up, okay? Not just like jump down, okay, from it. So do your work. Especially talking to the students who are, are not doing the work. So make sure you do that. Okay, so now let's get back to tools and techniques. So there are, where's my pointer? So there are two popular project management, okay, models, so network models. So what do we do? Okay, and they are like easily understood concept. They have it, and they're also effective. Okay, in real life applications, not only ideal situation, but you can apply that. And I think the issue the students are facing is, oh, I've got the foundation and knowledge, and you don't know how to apply it. Okay, that application is based on you. Okay, your skill is based on you, and you gotta analyze yourself. I know the material, I know the knowledge, and improve the skill to apply what you know in the real world. And a lot of the students, we discuss about it in many meetings, come to the university and they want us to teach the real life, okay, for them. We can't do that. We can do in a certain way, but it will be limited because university is not real life. Okay, university is giving you the theoretical, scientific, okay, if it's going to be art, the best practices, management, that will be the best practices. Everything that we have done all over the years from century and centuries, okay, knowledge, accumulated knowledge, you're learning that, models, methods, tools. You're learning the real life. If you want to learn the real life, you gotta be in the real life. Okay, so you come to university not to learn real life. You come to university to learn the technique, the method, the system, the theories, and the science and the arts. And your job is you have to improve your skill to apply all of that theory into the real life. Okay? And make sure you do your job. You've got to know how to apply it. If you don't know how to do it, you got to do something about it. Even now, we're increasing, okay, students don't know how to do it. We're going to throw in the real life. So we have to do an industrial project together, okay, put you as an apprentice or internship or co-op and giving you all of that connection. In traditional university, we don't do that, okay? So from 1950, 60, real life coming in, okay, we're going to teach them, okay? So from 50, right now we're at 2021. So we have a lot of real life stuff going on in university now. We're affiliated industrial, right, personals are now becoming instructor or professor and they're teaching that real life you want, okay, to them. But it's ridiculous thing. Real life is your life, okay? Real life is your work. Real life is just you actually, and you should be able to apply, okay, the knowledge to that. And right here, if you think about management, okay, we have already studied the time, the cost, the people, and apply that in your family when you communicate with your wife or your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever relationship, parents, okay, siblings. All right, start to apply. That is your real life before you start, okay, career is not your real life. Your real life is where you are living every day with your family. So start practicing, manage them, okay? Manage them, not just live, okay? Whatever. Manage them, and you're gonna see, okay? These tools work like magic. And then again, when you start to work, manage them, the people that you work with, project that you're doing, and use the tools and techniques and theories that you learn from the university. So application, real life application begins with you at your home. Okay. So we have the real life application every day of your life until you die. Okay, so therefore, what you have to do is apply the knowledge you got from the school in there. That's it. Yeah. So the more you do it, the more you will improve your skills and the better you will become. Yeah. So these are the critical path methods, and we call it, name it, CPM. So CPM, we call it, so what is the CPM? That is critical path method. Okay, so these are the critical path method. What are the critical path method? Understanding the concept and, okay, that are effective in the real life applications. The second one, the program evaluation, review technique, big word, we call it PERT. Same thing, evaluate the program, review the technique. Again, what are we doing? We're dealing with the tools, techniques, methods, theories, and concepts. Okay? And then we're going to use them. That is application. Where are we using? At your job, in your family, wherever you go. Okay? As long as you live. Now, study of Gantt charts. Okay? In this scenario, we're going to do it in maintenance, all right? Management, maintenance, projects. So now, study of Gantt charts may be enhanced by converting these bar charts, okay? I'm going to show you that views of a project into a network diagram. So CPM and PERT, what do? We do the same thing. We use the tools and techniques, and that's dealing with our project management. We're going to use a chart, and then we are not going to use a special something called the network diagram, right? That's our method that belongs to CPM, the method that belongs to PERT. We're using network diagram. All right, that's your tool. Now we're going to apply this in real life. Let's see how we do that. Okay, so now let's go back and learn some little history right there. So critical path method, your CPM, dates all the way back to 1957. So people who were born from 1920 to 70, 80, they do a lot of stuff. Okay, and after 1980 is a go with the flow generation right there. Okay, not a lot of brilliant innovation come out. Okay, but then the about 20% is doing all kinds of, like space station, all of this. Those are brilliant. That's after 1980. But the core industries, principles, technique, tools are formed between 1920 to 1980. Okay, we owe them so many things. All right. So when it was developed by Remington Rand, so CPM starting from 1957, okay, from Remington Rand and then DuPont, right, for the use of, first they're doing it in construction and maintenance, okay, so dealing with the chemical plants at that time. So right now they do all kinds of stuff. So the program evaluation and review technique was developed in 1958, okay, by us. So that's the United States. And then Navy to plan and control the Polaris missile, again, submarine program. So that's another one coming from the project, management tools and techniques, especially your CPM and PERT. So CPM, so that's where it came from. So steps in the conduct of both the CPM and the PRA team, okay, network analysis, they're all similar. Okay, anyway, all we have to understand is CPM started from here, yeah? Okay, moving on, methods. So the difference in the two approaches involves the estimated time, so that's the time you're guessing, and to complete each task or activity of a project. So these models are versatile. These are just books, okay, that you can read, and a lot of the management people, they use it. So they are useful for several functions of management and can be used by different staffs within the firm. A firm, corporation, company, the same thing, yeah. So these are the project management, okay, toolbox.